The savanna has kept pastoralists in Kenya afloat for centuries. Here, man, pasture and cattle are deeply connected. John Olemoi is part of this historic cultural fabric. Just like his ancestors, he bestrides the plains in search of pasture and water. Cattle is still at the center of his life. However, lately, the man from Isinya, Kajiado County, is facing harsh challenges that are threatening his very existence. This is why what used to be vast rangelands where cattle roamed and his ancestors partook in enchanting cultural exploits are now shrinking to this: real estate. The plains are a witness to a spree of land subdivision, fencing and vending in small lots and fit for big herds. Moi is a troubled man.
Mawaya kuna shida sana, shamba mekatakatwa, mewekwa mawaya, kiangazi ni kubwa sana, hata na shida sana.
And drought strikes here at will. The aftermath is a trail of acrid smell, pain, death and misery. So, what next for the people of the plains? Will Moi survive? Is it the end of the long trek? Not quite. A new dawn is rising in the plains and is reshaping the fortunes of folks like Moi, awarding them a new lease of life and hope. In 2012, the European Union offered support to promote and strengthen enterprises and market systems in drought-prone ASAL areas of Kajiado, Narok and West Pokot counties. Now, the strategy is transforming the way pastoralists treat pasture, milk, meat and markets. The European Union then contracted German Agro-Action, SNV Netherlands Development Organization and Neighbours Initiative Alliance to roll out the empowerment project. SNV and German Agro-Action are international institutions with a long reputation of implementing life-changing development programs around the world and in Kenya. Jackson Nabala is the head of the project.
It's a market-oriented program which support communities to handle or to be more resilient to the effect of drought.
To understand the impact of this project, West Pokot County, about 500 kilometers northwest of Nairobi, is a good starting point. This land is battered and under the clutches of perpetual drought. That's why cross-border movement from Kenya to Uganda to Kenya in search of pasture and water is commonplace and at a price.
Shida moja mwaka jana bata shida kubwa sana huko Uganda. Nilihamisha ng'ombe yangu huko. Kulikuwa ng'ombe mingi sana kwa kuko karibu yote.
Amaringole hails from Chepkobeg, a village just a few kilometers from Uganda. It's a typical ASAL world of bare earth and inedible cactus. But don't write Chepkobeg off just yet. This is the epicenter of a hay revolution sweeping the ASAL. Chepkobeg abounds with fodder, plenty of fodder. And it's the youth of Chepkobeg who are driving this revolution with thrilling results. Chepkobeg Youth Group is one of the tens of groups in ASAL that, through this intervention, started the unimagined to grow and conserve fodder. When SNV and German Agro-Action landed here, the youth received rigorous training on fodder management. Members learned how to select the right seeds, the right planting season, conservation, harvesting, packaging and storage of hay. Now, this is the fruit of their labor. It is March, the fodder is mature, it is time to make hay. And the hay will come in handy for fattening steers and to cushion the herd when drought strikes. Hay ensures rise in milk production as much as taming the communal migration in search of pasture. And so, instead of folks like Amaringole migrating to Uganda, they'll feed their cattle right in the village. The game is changing. This morning, the group members stream in ready to harvest. Philip Rwatakoru is a team leader. He takes charge and briefs members of the day's task.
Tutaanza kwa kukata, alafu baadaye tutamalizia kufunga, alafu tunaweka.
But before work, prayers fast. Then the team descends down to work. It is a labor-intensive affair, this one. They may not have sophisticated harvesting machines, but sickles do just as well. Again, there is no machine for baling, but a wooden bale box comes in handy. After all, during the training, they learn to make use of locally available material. 3 strips of strings run across the width of the box. Then grass is stuffed inside bit by bit. When full, someone steps onto the grass to make it firm. The barch is tied and removed. It is a bale of hay ready for storage. It's a busy day for the Chepkobeg youth group. It has been like this for the entire week, but it's not a wasted labor. Here is the fruit of their effort. More harvesting will be done tomorrow. And the benefits of this enterprise are many, as Rwatakoru explains.
Mwaka huu naona sisi wenye tulipatika kupata nyasi hatutaama, sababu tuko na nyasi tayari, sababu hii itawezalisha ng'ombe mingi sana, sababu hii ng'ombe moja itakula siku 3.
For women like Rebecca Abraham, being in the program has proved beneficial. In fact, she has even divested into poultry and goats. Hay has also boosted her milk output.
Na maziwa pia ikaongezeka sana kwa hii nyasi. Tunakamua na tunauza.
It's another day, and members of the Chepkobeg youth group are out again. Today they are constructing a store. This will protect the hay from thefts and destruction from bad weather. Once again, it's a communal effort. Traversing West Pokot confirms the rise of the hay culture. Cocoa Plum Fodder Group is another outfit that is modeled on Chepkobeg. Cocoa Plum was founded in 2012 under this project. It's hay-making time here too. Everything is analog, but they press on. Cocoa Plum is ahead of many others. It has a store ready for the hay. This store is courtesy of the European Union. The bales have to be arranged carefully for ease of retrieval and for prudent use of space. But the hay movement does not end in West Pokot. In Narok County, they are also planting and preserving hay. Japheth Olekisua is one such individual who's commercializing hay.
Sasa niko na ng'ombe 5. Kwa sababu natoa kama tuseme ni 40 liters.
He was also trained on fodder management.
Tumeenda training, tumepata hata ng'ombe inatoa lita 40. Sasa goal yangu ni kuhakikisha ng'ombe yangu moja inatoa 40 liters kama wengine kwa sababu niko na chakula.
This is his 2 acres under bomber rods. Soon he'll harvest and make hay. He has bigger plans too.
Nilianza na eka 2. Nimeanza sasa kupanda eka 2 na kuwa kama eka 4. Nimetayarisha eka 10 sasa.
The story of hay runs in the plains like a string. Hay is also emerging as a lucrative venture where farmers like Kisua and groups like Chepkobeg sell to other livestock keepers who have a shortfall. This chap has just bought the bales from a dealer. It's a common scene here.
The fodder component is to support livestock producers in the 3 counties to produce fodder for the market as well as for their own use during the time of drought.
The arid Kenya is emerging as a hub of fodder and thereby revolutionizing nomadism. To date, there are 54 fodder-producing groups in Kajiado, Narok and West Pokot counties, and the numbers are rising. Indeed, training and field visits were the hallmark of this reformist project. Take the example of this Enchula Women Association from Narok. This is December 2014. They have come to the Enkusero fodder group in Sultan Hamoud to learn about hay management, dairy keeping and cooperatives from their peers. Hay is rising in ASAL and now producers are restocking. They are also fattening their steers to get premium prices at the market. Milk production has also improved significantly. And so, what next for the people of the plains? Dawn at Orinie village in Kajiado County. It's milking hour and Naituta Sane does what she knows and likes best. The cow may be stubborn a bit, but that's common. What's not common though is that Naituta can now sell her milk through a cooperative society. Now Naituta is part of vibrant commercial dairy producers, albeit on a small scale, thanks to interventions. When she first encountered SNV and German Agro Action, she was taught about cooperatives and their benefits. Besides, she learnt about appropriate animal husbandry, including the right breed for milk. She joined the movement that is now sweeping across ASAL. Here she's cleaning her gourd so that the milk can remain fresh. And when all is done, her produce has to reach the market. This milk delivery rider comes in handy, and Naituta's milk hits the road to the market. Bisil in Kajiado is a bustling township. It is also home to the Emparanat Farmers Dairy Cooperative Society, one of the many that sprouted recently to support milk marketing ASAL. Here, Naituta's milk arrives. It's tested for impurities and quality. It passes a test. The clerk records the delivery. Naituta, who has been milking since she was a girl, has never traded a milk in such a systemized manner. The turning point in her life came when she joined other women in the cooperative, and now at the end of the month she will get her paycheck. Cooperatives are rising in ASAL to manage the milk marketing, and women folk are taking the lead in this endeavor, earning the much needed revenues. And since this project began, there are 6 cooperative societies with about 3,000 members across the 3 counties. Emparanat is busy this morning. Jane Tipira is a clerk here charged with receiving, testing and dispatching the milk.
Tuna test kama iko na maji tukitumia lactometer. Kama iko chini ya iko 20 hivi, hiyo iko na maji.
The cooperative receives about 2,000 liters of milk every day. The milk is sold to major milk processors and to institutions and businesses, as Tipira explains.
Tuko na kampuni ya Brookside. Tunawapatia maziwa mingi na tunauza locally to individuals na tunauzia hoteli na tunauza pia kwa mashule.
Today the rate of bad milk delivered here has reduced following educational efforts offered during trainings. The cooperative is even using the recommended Mazi cans to transport the milk. Besides, these cooperatives are also installing coolers, something that was unheard of before. Faith Kikulei is a producer and a member of the board at Emparanat. She explains the benefits of forming the cooperative.
Tulipokuja tukaingia cooperative, tumekuja tukapata faida kwa sababu benefits zote zinaturudia sisi kama wakulima.
Sayanka Ntore agrees with Faith. Ntore is the operation officer at Emparanat.
Vile tulikutana kama wakulima wengi, tuliweza kuweka maziwa yetu ikakuwa mingi, ikakuwa gharama ya kufanya ya kusafirisha ikakuwa rahisi, tukaweza kupata soko, pia bei ya maziwa at least ikakuja juu kidogo.
Beyond Emparanat, milk also flows in Motoni village, Narok County. This is a world of Catherine Towet. It's mid-morning on this October day. Her cows are tethered in the compound. 3 years ago at this hour she would be herding in the meadows. But now she can feed them and milk from this point. Indeed, in the lands previously known for nomadism and low-yielding indigenous cows, a new movement is shaping up, unlocking a giant dairy potential. Farmers are changing their breed to pedigree ones. They are also constructing zero grazing units, growing fodder and producing high volumes of milk, which is sold through cooperatives. Motoni too is a world of Esther Tuya. Today she is busy tending to her cows. This is her zero grazing unit that she built after the capacity building. This zero grazing unit is a major departure from the traditional method of free-range grazing that Esther has known since childhood. Keeping cows under a shed and feeding them from planted fodder was unimaginable in her world. Today, Esther is ecstatic about her newfound venture. Esther is an emblem of the changing times.
Sasa watoto wetu imesoma, tumepata pesa. Tumekuwa kama watu wengine. Watu walikuwa akienda account kutoa pesa, tukafikiri ni walimu tu. Kumbe hata sisi tutakaa kama walimu.
This is NLRI Women Dairy Society, a project of local women in Motoni. Esther and many other milk producers sell their produce through this facility. Just within 3 years, NLRI has become a hub of milk. And to remain competitive, recently they acquired a cooler. Richard Langat is a CEO of the dairy.
We are buying milk from farmers, we bulk it, and then we sell it to the processor. We are doing that because we were looking for better prices in order to see that farmers get what they're supposed to get for their milk.
Small wonder the society has come in handy for women like Nancy Tangus here.
Nimenunua ng'ombe ya maziwa, hata nimekusaidia kwa shule, kwa mtoto kwa school fees.
But she's not alone. Ask Nora Tangus too. She's upbeat.
Nikileta maziwa, ninakuja kuuza maziwa, ninapata pesa, ninaenda kuweka school fees ya watoto, alafu ile zimebaki ni ya nyumbani.
To support the members further, NLRI provides hay during tough times. Here is a store the society constructed to keep hay safe. During dry spells, members buy the hay on credit and at a discounted rate. Here's Langat again.
This is a store that Germany Action constructed for us, and it carries 1,500 bales. The Germany Action and the SNV planted for us 10 acres of bomaros. And we have harvested. If you can look at now the bales here, they are ready now to be eaten by the animals, or to feed the animals.
Value addition to milk was also core to this project. Let's go back to Bisil. Do you remember Gentipira? Great. Now, during the day when all the milk has been dispatched, she also manages a milk bar here. This is where the public pops in for a glass of fresh milk, cold or hot. Julius Lokiridi frequents this joint. The milk bar enables the women to diversify their income, and it's a lucrative venture. In this bar, a litre of milk fetches up to Kenya shillings 100 as opposed to selling raw milk at 50 shillings. Tipira explains how it works.
Hii milk bar inasaidia wamama kuwa empowered kwa sababu inawaadia value. Hii profit kubwa hivi tunapata, wao wanasaidika.
In Chepareria, West Pokot County, they are even making yogurt and fermented milk. Caroline Rotich is a member of the Teleu Dairy Society. Her group received training from Egerton University on how to make yogurt and fermented milk. It's a simple mechanism that is transforming lives here. Producing fermented milk now takes a shorter time, maybe 3 days, compared to the traditional method Rotich's mother used back in the day that took about 7 days. Cutting the days of fermentation means Rotich and group can produce more and meet the ever-increasing market demand. But if milk was not yummy enough, welcome to the world of mouth-watering meat and, of course, money. Indeed, even with the rise of fodder in the 3 counties and the rise of cattle, markets remain critical to the success of pastoralists. Cattle bazaars are common in ASAL areas, but middlemen have always controlled these markets, leaving producers to earn a pittance. The tables are turning though. This program also aspired to streamline the marketing arena to ensure that producers get the best value for their animals. This is Kiserian Township in Kajiado County, just 30 kilometers from the capital. Think Kiserian, think cattle and meat. Here, producer meets the buyer. There is bargaining, buying and selling. This is how this market has operated for ages. Then, Kekonyokie slaughterhouse happened. Monica Muthemba is a supervisor and a director at Kekonyokie. She goes round the market to inspect the cattle to ensure that only quality goes to the slaughterhouse. And so, what has a slaughterhouse benefited from this program?
They have helped us in making our business plan, of which if you don't have a plan, there is no way you are going to work. They have helped us in training, doing the training of which you come and put into practice. You become very competent in the work. They also organize like trips. These trips helps people to do some benchmarking. If you go out there, you do the benchmarking, you learn a lot.
A group establishment, Kekonyokie provides abattoir services to businessmen too. But importantly, it's also an outlet of beef for the cattle keepers. The group buys the cattle direct from pastoralists, processes the meat and gets it directly to butchers and other outlets like hotels. Isaac Nemuta is a manager here and also a member of Mifugo Trade, an online marketing platform for auctioning cattle on behalf of producers.
Naweza sema hii ndio terminal market. Maana mifugo wote mwisho wao ni hapa. Na uhusiano wa hapa na kule ni kwamba hata sisi tunajaribu kuhamasisha wale wafugaji ili wapate kukuza nyasi na kujaribu kuhifadhi, ndipo hata wakati wa kiangazi kama wakati huu wanaweza kuwa na malisho ya ng'ombe wao.
Indeed, the impact of fodder management is positively reflected at the cattle markets like Kiserian. Through this initiative, 3 market access companies have so far been created in the 3 counties. The companies are Kapenguria in West Pokot, which has 26 members, Kekonyokie Slaughterhouse in Kajiado with 16 members, and Narok Traders Cooperative with 128 members. The members are cattle producers. The companies buy cattle directly from members and sell them jointly. This has given members a competitive edge in the market. Ultimately, marketing companies are progressively locking out middlemen, and the producer is winning by the day. The marketing groups have developed business plans which will help them raise equity and further manage the markets better. Kekonyokie, for instance, has a business plan which it aspires to use as a blueprint to guide in future operations. And after all these efforts of designing and implementing the blueprint, what is the take of the implementers? Today, the team is meeting in Nakuru to review the project. The workshop brings together actors from government, private sector and the NGO world. It's a peer review engagement. Frida Gasheri is a market access advisor for SNV.
So I'm very excited that this took place today because it was like a recollection of thoughts and a review by the peers, the county government officials, ASDSP, and we are able to recollect our thoughts and ask ourselves if we are on the right track. I'm happy that things have gone well.
And Nabala is charmed. He sees a future without hunger.
Bringing in all the key stakeholders, the milk processors, the line ministries, which is or the county government as well, and the service providers, bringing in all and putting all the mechanism in place as proof that a world without hunger is indeed possible.
Indeed, if you remember Esther, Nora, Naituta and others, you'll understand why change is happening in the ASAL, one bale, one cooperative, one market at a time. And for folks like Moi, he can now face the future with confidence.